Okay, hello tubers. Now, I just had somebody write me or talk to me this morning and was asking about they wanted me to make a video on how to write an effective criminal complaint. Now, this is really simple. It's not quite as hard as what you think. So, let me just start out by saying the first thing you want to do is create a timeline on what happened during the engagement with an officer or whatever happened in court, anything like that. As soon as you have engaged the officer, then you want to write down everything that happened. You don't want to write down any emotion, just straight facts. The guy asked this, you did this. He said this, you said this. Nothing but facts. No, he said this, and then I told him I wanted to, but no, fuck that. This is facts. You only want facts. And the reason is it should be as dry and bland. Um, it, you know, it should state just this, and then period. Nothing else. And the reason that you want it to be that way is because you want to create a timeline of just pure events that happened. That's it. And once you create that timeline, you will be able to use that in in pieces to weave together your complaint. Now, the when you say you're in a court situation, there can be an event where one thing can happen, one event, but several different charges can occur, like official oppression and obstruction and abusive process. All this stuff happens just on one event. So you can have three, four, five criminal complaints just by one thing that occurred. So there's a lot of ways you can go about this. You just have to put together the story so that it flows and makes sense, and it's not speculation. It's just pure fact. The definition of a fact is something that has occurred. That's it. And you want to make one sentence statements only. That's a fact. Okay? You never want to run two sentences together to try to. No, you just don't do that. Remember, this has got to be boring, mind numbing, stupid, easy for anybody to read. So, once you create the facts, you can use that to compose the complaint. And how I structure mine is I will write a short story of why I'm here, what occurred here, the complaint that I'm making here, and then subsequently by his actions, these are other things that he violated or she to deny me my liberty interest. So I printed one off and I wanted to kind of show you because it's really simple. So here is a criminal complaint, and you can see the body of it. It's only one page. Now I'll read this one to you. Now if you look right here, I did make a mistake. I've already sent this into a judicial committee, so I may send another one in. You always make a mistake, you never make an error. It's a legal thing, so a mistake is just an oversight. It was just right after we changed into 17. I wrote 16 there, but in the date down here I did have it correct as 17. So let's just take a look at this complaint, and I'll read to you exactly how short it can be, but how definitive and concise it is with just nothing but facts. On January 12, 2017 at 1:15 p.m., complainant was summoned to the Rockwall Court of Law by Judge Williams for driving with an invalid license, represented by Ben Massel, a court-appointed attorney. Complainant was standing in line when Massel arrived to court. Massel made a pleasant greeting, asking how things were going. Complainant replied back with a pleasant greeting. Complainant asked if this case was Reset City. Massel said yes. Complainant was standing in line waiting while Massel, who was sitting at a desk filling out a reset form, when the Rockwall Court Clerk Administrator, a blonde, obese woman, publicly announced before a gallery of 100+ people, including one Rockwall City attorney, who can be described, and many public defenders, including Massel, saying that anyone who was not an attorney or the named person in the case had to leave the courtroom and would not be allowed back in. Now, that's the story. That's what occurred. That was the fact. Here is the charge, highlighted and underlined. Y'all can go back and rewind and look at it for yourself. The clerk, acting as a quisling of the court, by the order of Judge Williams, intentionally and publicly denied or impeded the people the exercise or enjoyment of a right to access a free and open courtroom. Period. Williams' ongoing predicate actions are willful and corrupt, violating his oath of office, albeit an abuse of discretion, breaching his fiduciary duty to the public. He's getting paid, y'all. Violating the code of ethics, likewise oath of office, scarring the face of public trust by acting non-compliant with well-established laws, policies, and procedures. Williams' malfeasance of office, while absent any exemptions, seemingly displayed tacit predicate actions, invoking policy before law for the sole purpose of generating a revenue scheme. Boom. Now at the top, it has the normal I, Scott Richardson, being duly sworn, do state upon my oath that I have personal knowledge and I have reason to believe and do believe, based upon the following information. And down below that is that I charge heretofore the making of the filing of this complaint on before January 12, 2017 in the county of Rockwall and state of Texas. Judge Brian Williams did then and there unlawfully and willfully violate Section 3903 of the Texas Penal Code, titled Official Oppression Against the Peace and Dignity of the State. That's my charge. Give it a thumbs up if you like that. Now, let's have a little discussion about filing these judicial complaints, because I had a little chat with the State Judicial Committee Review Board Chief Investigator or whatever, the head honcho out of Austin for this outfit that investigates judges going rogue. He told me the process of how it works. Quite simple. Basically, they get 1,000 complaints a month, 500 get chunked. 80% of those are written by attorneys. The other 500 then get divided in half, go to the investigatory unit, and the other half go to the attorneys. Out of that, 100 get selected out of each, so I guess 50 a pop, to see about getting some kind of remedy towards the accusation. Basically, 100 a month get scraped off the bench, or some kind of judicial conduct review, whatever that is. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, but they did remove an appellate court judge. The state did about 4 months ago now. An appellate court judge here in Dallas, sitting on the bench, scraped him right off. Boom. Now is the time for you people to wake up and smell the coffee. You can put this stuff together. All you got to do is make a correct timeline. Once you put the timeline together, you weave it in, you look up the charges in your particular state. I encourage everybody to buy the law book for the state that you live in. I have mine. I use it. The reason I have it is so I know how many charges I can use to charge public officials when they violate my liberty interest. I suggest you do the same. Now, Google's wonderful. You can do a lot with it, but the book sure does make it a little bit easier. Besides, you can find some little nuggets in there sometimes that you just would never find. So that is the way I have written criminal complaints. Obviously, it was effective because the judicial board called me, asked me to release my anonymity for a couple of judges, which now I don't. At first, I used to check the boxes like, yeah, just keep me anonymous. When they called me up, wanted me to release that so they could process this and move forward, I don't check that box no more. I want them to know. So that they can let that judicial review board go through with what they're supposed to do. Here's the thing. I wasn't really getting a whole lot of traction, especially when I was bar grieving. Because I bar grieved everybody to the Stone Age. Yeah, these city attorneys, yeah, I bar grieved them all to the Stone Age. Now, normally they were all coming back. They're just getting kicked back saying, oh, this doesn't rise to the level of the occasion of seeking any further action against this attorney for blah, 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 whatever. Doesn't matter. Since I filed a civil lawsuit and I started making more of these bar grievances, judicial conduct filings, they're not coming back from Austin no more. They're sticking because I have a federal lawsuit on them. Because here's the thing. If I'm right, and they've been saying that everything that they've been doing is okay and doesn't rise to the level of occasion to for them to step in and pull the reins back on what's going on with all this hanky-panky corruption, well, what good are they? That would kind of make them a little bit liable, seem like. Or would it seemingly almost be like collusion? So that's your guess. So, but anyhow, that should help you out and get you on track. Doesn't have to be 5 pages of a bunch of mumbo jumbo. 1 page is all I ever send. It's easy read. They can't get that. Ain't much gonna help them. But these 1-page docs have been getting lots of traction here lately. So, just want to let y'all know. I hope this helps. Snafu out.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH. I just wanted to let you know of another channel that I think you need to look into, like and subscribe it. This guy is showing you how to write FOIA letters and writing an effective criminal complaint on public officials. That's what me and some of the other COPWATCHers are really excited about learning about. How easy it is. It's 1 page and it's working. These complaints are working. Apparently a couple months ago they actually got a corrupt judge off the bench. So remember to like and subscribe to Snafu Radio. He is fighting the tyranny like we are, and wow, wouldn't you like to get a corrupt judge fired too?